Yeah, good evening. First of all, give yourself a big round of applause kasi you've invested months of studying, countless sleepless night, of course, nakaranas kami ng ganyan, and many sacrifices just to reach this moment. So paki-thumbs up nga kung medyo audible ako, baka hindi po ako naririnig. Hello? Naririnig po, audible po ba? Okay, thank you so much. Okay, let's now continue. So sabi ko nga, ang daming sleepless night, yung iba medyo stress, yung iba parang ngayon pa na naghahabol. No, hindi na po kayo pwedeng maghabol sa ngayon. Ngayon po ay i-relax nyo na ang inyong mga sarili at gawin nyo na pong panatag ang inyong kaisipan dahil ito na po yung moment. So ang ginagawa natin ngayon is just to recap na lang kung ano yung ating pinag-aaralan. And tonight or today, it is not the day to learn a new topics. No, today is the day to strengthen yung ano ang mga natutunan ninyo, palawakin pa natin yan ngayon, okay? Then the board examination is not designed to trick you, or it is designed to determine whether you understand the basic principles of a real estate appraisal. And so let us focus only to the concepts that a professional regulatory board repeatedly asks. Kasi paulit-ulit lang naman yung iba dyan na nasa kanilang question bank. Tapos ngayon, may mga dumadagdag lang naman dyan siguro yung mga bago, kung ano yung mga trend, kung ano yung mga current events. So usually yun yung mga dumadagdag. But the concept, the context of the real estate appraisal examination is still aligned kung ano man yung mga natutunan ninyo ngayon. And yeah, so we are going to discuss. Siguro ako muna mag-discuss mga basic lang naman, siguro yung mga fundamentals, and then yung mga previous discussion namin, mga naka-record naman sa page ng OREP. So of course, I would like to welcome lahat po ng mga sinend po ni Miss Lee, yung kanilang mga scholars. We have here, I think, 35 yung nakalista. I don't know kung ilan pa. So, yan. Ang dami pang pumapasok. Ang hirap ng ganito. Okay. Recorded naman siya, siguro pwede natin balikan. So, now let's start. Let's start our discussion. Kung may mga hahabol pa, oh my God, ang hirap, no? Ako yung nagko-control, ako pa rin yung nag-accept at the same time discuss. Okay? Let us now go back to understand what appraisal is and then what are the value means. So select the appropriate basis of the value and approach. So apply correct methods and computations and produce conclusions consistent with the Philippine professional and legal requirements. So ano ba yung mga legal requirements na kailangan yung malaman? Siyempre number 1 dyan talaga yung Republic Act 9646. Then yung pumapasok dyan yung BP 220, 71, RA 7160. So importante din na malaman niyo yung mga PD 464 kasi nung time namin, ulitin ko ulit, dalawa ang lumabas, yung PD 1812, dalawa din lumabas dyan. Meron ding mga marami din, ang pinakamarami talaga yung RA 7160 kasi pinerfect niya lahat yung mga tax assessment doon ng mga municipality sa city. So ang question doon kasi usually is tatlo-tatlo lagi. For example, yung halimbawa, sa city, halimbawa 30%, sa province ganito, sa barangay. So, pa-perfect yan yung tatlong linya na yan. Tapos, 4 yung option. So, kailangan hindi nyo siya makakalimutan kung ilang percentage siya kasi napakadaming kinuha doon. Especially sa mga tawag dito yung municipality na yan, mga city, kung ilan yung mga percentage sa mga taxes na yan. So, i-discuss si Ma'am Rima about that. Tsaka marami siyang computation na i-discuss about this taxes, real estate tax. Okay, and today, I will give you a synopsis lang naman about this. I think very new para sa inyo, pero daanan lang natin bago tayo mag-proceed sa pinakang fundamentals of a real estate appraisal. And wait lang nag-check lang ako sa message. Okay, so today, I would like, of course, congratulate kasi nakarating na kayo dito. So, ibig sabihin, hinihintay nyo na lang yung license ninyo. Siyempre sa inyo, because of you, makukuha nyo yan, di ba? July 7, so by July 10, lalabas na yung resulta, or 9, siguro mga ganyan, medyo, wag lang kayong kabahan, i-relax lang. Kasi nung nag-exam ako, relax lang. Binilang ko lang yung tama akong sagot, then pasa na. Ganun lang, hindi ako nangarag, ang nangangarag ako during sa naghihintay ng resulta. Doon lang ako nangangarag kasi papasa ba ako o hindi. Pero during the exam, relax lang. Yan chill, walang kaba, walang pressure. Yun. Pero, huwag po tayong magpakakampante, huwag kayong maging complacent pagdating sa exam kasi hindi porke real estate broker na kayo is napakadaling real estate appraisal. Ibang-iba ang pagdating sa real estate appraisal. Okay? Hindi ko kayo pinakakaba. Sabi ko nga, walang kaba, walang pressure. Hindi. Iba lang talaga yung dating niya. Ang siguro yung dating ng mga exams na parang hindi karaniwan doon sa real estate broker exam. So yun lang yung masasabi ko sa kanya. Lalo pa sa part 2. Kadalawang set lang yan eh. Yung part 2, 100 items siya, pero to tell you honestly, 4 hours is not enough for 100 items. Pero yung part 1, 150 items, 4 hours siya, medyo okay kasi relax lang doon. Pero pag sinabi yung part 2, 4 hours, 100 items, I couldn't say na enough talaga siya. Okay? Kasi ang daming geometry, ang daming mga mahahaba yung question, tapos sa isang question, 4 yung magiging sagot mo. Pag mali ka sa isang sagot na yon, ibig sabihin, yung mga susunod mong sagot, magiging mali na yan. Kasi magre-rely lahat yung first answer mo, yung unang answer mo doon sa unang question. Yun yung scenario, tapos 4 na question. So, unang question, magre-rely yung second question doon sa first. So, kailangan hindi ka magkamali doon. So, gagawin natin yan mamaya sa part ni Mama Rina. Okay, so let's now start. And I would like to give you this ano part. So, siguro aware na kayo sa ALCO, no? Kahit wala na yung ALCO, so Asset and Liability. So, ALCO stands for the Asset and Liability Committee. So, it is a senior management within the bank or the financial institution or responsible for managing the institution assets, liabilities, liquidity, profitability, and financial risk. It is a primary objective to ensure that the bank remains profitable while maintaining an acceptable level of a risk and liquidity. So, why should the real estate appraiser understand ALCO? Bakit nga ba natin malaman to? Siguro, binibigyan ko lang kayo ng konting synopsis about this. Baka malay mo, meron lang lumabas. It is not for ALCO itself, siguro mga asset and liabilities. So, bakit nga ba siya importante and why need to understand bilang real estate appraiser? So, the simple answer for this question is that banks rely heavily on a real estate as a collateral for loans. So since the real estate appraisers determine the value of such collateral, the reliability of your valuation directly affects the decision made by the ALCO. So, ano ba yung mga ginagawa pag ang nakapaloob sa mga ALCO, 'di ba yung mga loan approvals? So, yung mga credit risk management. We have also the capital adequacy, we have liquidity planning and portfolio management. Siguro sa mga finance and economics na part, siguro lalabas yung may mga ganitong klaseng scenario. And then, when you say about this, the real estate appraisers, in other words, an appraiser provides the valuation data while the ALCO use that data to manage the banks and financial and risk to exposure. Siguro yung mga CPA natin dito, no, medyo aware na sa ganitong klaseng setup, yung ibig sabihin ng asset liabilities. And your valuation report bilang mga appraisers are expected to be independent, you need to be objective, competent, and ethical. And with that being said, because banks and financial institutions rely on these reports, an inaccurate valuation may expose the institution to significant financial losses. Kumbaga parang naka-align yung mga ginagawa ng mga appraisers kasi nga the real estate appraisers determines the value of the property, then ALCO uses that value to manage the bank's assets, liabilities, profitability, and liquidity, and even the risk, di ba? Kasi importante yan eh. Kumbaga parang kayo mga appraisers ang nagbibigay, nagdetermine ng mga value that uses by the ALCO or the management. Kasi nga, ang involved dito is the asset and liabilities. So understanding this relationship It demonstrates not only the appraisal's competency, but also the application of how valuation supports the broader Philippine financial system. So that's the very important. Bakit natin isinasama ito sa today's discussion? Just to give you the synopsis. And giving you the institution, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas regulations. So the banks supervised by the BSP are the required to maintain the prudent lending and the risk management practices. So the collateral values used in lending decisions must be supported by reliable appraisals. Okay, so when ALCO evaluates real estate loan exposure, it depends on the appraisal reports of a to determine, of course, to determine the value kung ano ba yung kailangan. So kaya laging involved itong si tinatawag natin na appraisals. So kayo mag-take ng exam. So bakit kailangan yan? And therefore, the appraisal reports become essential risk management documents within the banking operations. And like here, there is some question here, nakikita nyo naman sa screen. How does the work of real estate appraisal contribute to the functions of ALCO? The answer is very simple, di ba? The real estate appraiser provides independent and objective property valuation used by financial institution as the basis for collateral assessment, credit underwriting, risk measurement, and asset management. Di ba merong mga appraisal ang mga bangko? So since ginawa na ng RP Bara, very centralized na siya ngayon. Hindi na iba't ibang institution ngayon ang gumagawa. Ang mga bangko may isang appraiser, ang government, ang mga assessor, no. Justice, now we have now the law na ginawa 12001. So very na siya, is uniform na ang gagawin ngayon. So kaya medyo relevant itong ALCO na sinasabi ko sa inyo. So here, like for example, no, yung the practical relationship between the ALCO and the real estate appraisers. Like for example, the loan original is consider the following example, the property location, like for example in Makati, then they have the appraised market value of 20 million, and then the bank lending policy has a 80% of loan to value ratio, and then the maximum loan amount must be ilan? Kasi nga 20% yung so 16 million. So yan yung magiging maximum loan. And then itong si appraiser determine the market value para at least medyo hindi siya ganun ka-risk kasi kapag hindi kasi ginawa ng mga appraisers yan, like yung sa mga bank appraisers na ngayon ay very na 'di ba, uniform na, regardless kung nasa government entity ka or sa private, very na tayo ngayon, centralized na, hindi na tayo iba yung appraise ni bangko, iba yung appraise ni assessor, iba yung appraise ni para kay mayor, iba yung appraise ng para kay ganito. No, we have a centralized tawag dito na batas na pinapatupad. Okay, so why it is very important to determine the value, the credit risk assessment, because suppose the property values decline. So due to, for example, the oversupply of the condominium, the economic recession, the weak demand for office spaces, so the collateral supporting the loan may decrease in value. So the ALCO reviews this development because declining collateral values increase, like yung profitability of loss, non-performing loan risk, yung capital requirements, and then the updated property appraisals become crucial in assessing the bank's exposure. For, di ba may mga sinatawag tayo lagi, yung mga foreclosure and asset disposal, it is part and parcel of the real estate appraiser. Di ba? Kasi when the borrowers default, banks may acquire foreclosed properties, commonly referred to as what? Yung tinatawag natin na real and other properties acquired, then the bank requires appraisers to determine what? The fair market value, the liquidation value, the fair value for financial reporting, and the valuation assist ALCO in determining the expected recovery. So, ayun, very important talaga tayo mga appraisers, di ba? Kasi tayo yung nag-a-assist sa mga asset and liabilities. And then the asset disposal strategies, ano mga dapat gawin, di ba? Ano ba yan? 'Di ba yung mga salvage value na tinatawag, so nadaanan niyo naman na 'yan, 'di ba? So ngayon, yung impact niyan, impact on the profitability, the appraiser contributes directly to the bank's financial decision-making process. So 'yan, ganyan kayo kaimportante, guys. So yung mga bangko ngayon, kailangan kayo kasi nga, 'pag may mga hiring, I remember may nag-hire ang Land Bank Philippines ng 5 appraisers. So, yon nakita ko kailangan talaga nila ng mga appraisers ngayon. So, at least makaka-help kayo to determine the market value, the fair market value, and then yung mabawasan kung ano ba yung mga risk involved. So, yon kaya importante kayo sa bayan. Okay? Hindi lang kayo pang gobyerno o mga assessors. Now, the usual, 'di ba, pag may sinabi ko nga kanina, the usual examination board question lang naman, yung tinanong ko kanina, yung how does the work of real estate appraiser contribute to the functions of ALCO? So, yun yung pinakang sagot. Okay? Then, the professional ethical reminder, ano ba yung mga dapat? So, as a future, I mean, the incoming real estate licenses appraisers, never forget that that your valuation report is not merely a compliance document. It may affect also the bank lending decision, an investor's acquisition strategy, the financial reporting, the court proceedings, even the court proceedings kailangan. So, yun yung mga importante, no? It's an ethical reminder. The taxation matters, the risk management at the board level, and an inflated valuation can expose a bank to excessive credit risk. So kaya kailangan, this is why the principles of independence, competence, objectivity, due diligence, professional responsibility ay kinakailangan bilang mga appraisers. Okay? So paki-thumbs up nga kung naintindihan po what is the asset and liabilities. Naintindihan po ba natin? Okay, that's good. Let's now proceed to, wait lang. Ma'am Rima, are you there? Ma'am Rima?
Sir?
Okay, andyan na pala siya. Thank you. I just want to, ano kasi ikaw ang susunod after me. Okay, let's now proceed. So medyo naintindihan nila about the ALCO, no? That's very nice. At least nadaanan natin. Kasi ang laking bagay nito, no, pagdating sa mga banks, mga risks, yung mga yan. So malay mo maging part siya ng board exam ngayong July 6, July 7. So at least nadaanan nyo what's the asset and liabilities, okay? Now, let's now proceed to our discussion. So how can you define the market value? So this is very important for you to know kasi yung market value is this is the probably the most important definition in the entire examination of a real estate appraisers. So ito yung pinaka-importante sa lahat ng inyong magiging exam ngayon. It is not about the mathematics, it's not about the computation. Kasi halos ito lahat lang lagi yung binubuo niya kasi mga appraisers nga kayo or appraisers tayo. So if I ask, for example, like what is market value? Huwag niyong sabihin simply like, this is the selling price. It is not actually the selling price, no? The board examination expect you to recognize the complete definitions of what market value is. Now, remember these words, okay? Estimated amount, willing buyer, the willing seller, the arm's length transactions, the proper marketing, the knowledgeable and prudent without the compulsions. That is exactly what the market values talk about. Okay, a simple way to remember that element. So I have listed some of the elements. Ano ba yung mga elements na ng market value? Di ba nabanggit ko na nga? So, yung pinakang attorney din ko is joining. Okay. So, yung nabanggit ko nga are mga elements ng market value. So, I have listed here for you to be able to remember and recall what are the fair market value, the key elements. Okay? So, siguro nadaanan nyo na ito, but I just want to remind all of you because I just put the breakdown, the fair price agreed by informed parties under a normal market conditions with nobody being forced. So here, the estimated amount, like the most probable price, not the highest, lowest, or exact price, the willing buyer. So one of the key elements of the market value, buyer wants to buy what it's not forced, ba? And the willing seller wants to sell but it's not compelled to do so. And then the arms and transaction, parties act independently and have no special relationship affecting the price, the proper marketing, and the knowledgeable parties. The prudent parties, and then without compulsion. This is the key elements that for you to remember during the examination. Okay, it's very important. It is not about the selling price. You need to know what are the elements. Parang sa amin yan, nag-aaral ako ng law school, 'di ba? Tawag dito, may mga elements lagi sa mga ginagawa naming mga cases, mga case studies. So kailangan may mga ganyan. So tatandaan niyo lang pala, yung pala yung mga elements ng mga key elements ng fair market value. So kinakailangan yung tandaan niya kasi it's very important na sabi ko nga, market value is the most probable price as a property will bring in an open and competitive market where informed, prudent, and willing parties. So importante yan talaga kasi these are your keywords, okay, sa market value. And here's my advice during your examination, di ba? If you see all those phrases in one question, don't even waste time analyzing those choices because the correct answer is market value, okay? Giving all these kinds of key elements. Okay? So understand, paki-thumbs up kung naintindihan po ang key elements ng ating market value. Okay, that's very good. So let's now proceed. Ito no, actually nagkakaroon lang tayo ng mga synopsis and mga recall kasi nga sabi ko nga sa inyo, this is not about kung ano yung discussion, dagang comprehensive discussion. It's a reminder na lang kasi final coaching na ito. Okay? And yeah, pagdating naman dito sa ano, siguro very aware na kayo dito no nung pagdating sa mga three approaches, talagang I believe na talagang very perfect na ninyo yung mga gagawin ninyo during the exam. So the three approaches to value. Now let's move to these three approaches. It's very important. Don't memorize only their names, okay? Ask yourself for each question. It is my tip for you during the exam. Ask yourself, like for example, what is the property telling me? Okay, what is the property telling me? If the property is a new or a special purpose, then ask, how much will it cost to build this today? And that's gonna be the coach approach. Okay, yun yung pinakatatandaan ninyo. If the property has a special purpose, so how much will it cost to build this today? And that's the cost approach, guys. That's for you to remember. How about if the question gives you a comparable sales from a nearby properties, then ask, the question is, what are the similar properties being selling? What is the similar property selling for? Okay, so yan yung tatandaan nyo sa mga question, and that could answer you the sales comparison approach. Okay, so alam nyo na. Diba kanina yung cost approach, how much it will cost to build today. Kaya nga nangalagay ko nga dun sa screen ninyo na cost approach is to build. Sales comparison approach is to compare. And pagdating naman dun sa ano, sa how much income does the property generate? And that's the income capitalization approach. And that I put there na income approach is to earn. So yan yung mga keywords na kailangan yung matandaan pagdating sa mga three approaches. So naibigay ko sa inyo yung pinakang keywords and I hope that you will remember those na during the examination. Huwag kayong magpaikot-ikot. Huwag yung ikutin yung utak ninyo. Tumutok lang kayo kung ano ang tinatanong sa tinatanong doon sa test question. Doon. Number one, how much it will cost to build this today? That's the cost approach. And then what is the similar properties selling for? That's the sales comparison approach. And how much income does the property generate? And that will fall into an income capitalization approach. And remember this, the shortcut, cost to build, sales compare, and income earn. So yan yung importante ninyong dapat tandaan pagdating sa mga three approaches na yan. If you remember those three phrases, you will answer almost every question about valuation approaches. And that three approaches, market, sales, income, cost, and when to use them, like, di ba, yung mga sinasabi natin na yung mga methodology of appraisal and evaluation, And who could remember? Siyempre, alam nyo yan. Methodology of appraisal and valuation, that is the backbone of a professional real estate appraisal. It is not merely about the memorizing in the sales comparison, the cost and income approaches, but it's about understanding the systematic reasoning process behind how value is developed, analyzed, reconciled, and concluded in accordance with the valuation standards. So, as emphasized in informal appraisal procedures, the valuation process is not a single computation or a formula. And the PRB test or the examiner tests how well you understand that the process as a whole. So alamin ninyo, katulad ng binigay ko sa inyo mga questions, very simple. Kapag alam nyo yung concept, the context, and for these three approaches, it's very easy for you to answer. Hindi kayo magdedwell ng mga 1 to 2 minutes doon sa isang test question. And if that happen, do not dwell on it. Proceed kayo sa ibang mas makaya nyo. Yan, balikan ninyo. Baka mamaya yung locomotor natin is nag-refresh lang, okay? So, understanding the methodology is a critical because most examination questions are process-driven and judgment-based. Okay? So, the board examination does not ask what formula for you to use, but when, why, and why not to apply a particular approaches. Di ba sinabi ko, pag sinabing earn, okay. Pag sinabing build, pag sinabing compare, that's the very important three words na aalalahanin nyo lang. Okay. So, methodology define the subject property like location, areas, improvements like legal attributes, while the selection of the comparable properties, ano yung mga nakalagay dyan? The recent arm's length sales within the same market area, analyze differences. So, make the adjustments like adjust the comparable and not the subject property. Okay, alam nyo yan. Lagi nating ina-adjust ang comparable, hindi yung subject property. And then adjustment may be a positive or a negative. Pag medyo mataas, ibaba. Pag mababa, dadagdagan mo lang siya. That's aligned doon sa subject property. And derive the indicated value, and usually like may mga question kasi before na like for example per square meter, tapos ganun. So minsan ipapa-convert pa sa inyo sa meter. So kailangan alam nyo yung conversion. So alam nyo dapat yung ginagamit na calculator para mas madali ninyong ma-convert. Kasi naranasan namin yan na ang question is feet tapos ang magiging sagot mo ilang meter daw. So yun yung nangyari sa amin. Kahit halu-halugad nyo yun sa mga option, wala kayong makikitang feet kundi meter yung gagawin or centimeter or whatever. So kaya nga sabi ko sa inyo, alalahanin ninyo, maglagay kayo ng isang o yung may mga calculator dyan kasi yung ginamit na pinahiram sa akin ni Ma'am Rima na calculator, yun ang ginamit ko. So, na-convert ko naman siya ng maayos. Meter, feet, mga ganon. Kasi ang question is feet, magiging meter yung sagot. Ang question naman ay, tapos, may mga question talaga doon na hindi exactly the same yung answer or figure or value. It's gonna be may point something lang siya. So, yun yung pinaka the nearest answer, possible answer. So, okay, talking with that, dealing with that, tawag dito, dealing with a lot of challenges before and during the exams. So I'm telling you, before the examination, the challenge lies in organizing the concept into a logical appraisal flow. So from the definition of the assignment, the highest and best use analysis, we have also the proper application of approaches to the reconciliation and the reporting. So during the exam, the challenges appear in the form of trap question. Lagi kayong tinatrap kasi marami kaming naranasan na puro trap question yun. Ang question ay ganito, tapos ma-realize mo lang pala later na, ay, ganun pala yun. Kasi wala na, isubmit mo na yung papel, saka mo na-realize. But sabi ko nga sa'yo, kung hindi nyo kaya, mag-CR kayo, mag-relax muna yung mind for 30 seconds, 1 minute, walang problema. Huwag kayo magmamadali sa exam. Kasi sabi ko nga, iba ang approach ng appraisal, iba ang approach ng broker. Hindi porke, maraming mga nakapasa ng broker exam pero bumagsak sa real estate appraisers. I'm telling you guys, madami. Especially yan, yung mga nung last year na batch. So parang kampante are very complacent. Kasi nga talaga ako, super drain talaga ako nung talaga natapos yung board exam. Super drain ang mind ko. So ang ginawa ko, nanood kami ng sine. So yun lang yun. para ma-refresh ang mind. So, to surpass the examinations, examinees shift from rote learning to the examiner thinker. Lagi kayo ang iisipin niyo, hindi kayo nag-exam lang. Ang isipin niyo, kayo yung nagpapa-exam. Bakit ito ang binibigay ng examiner? Ito dapat yung mindsetting natin. Ano ang gusto ng examiner? Ano ang gusto niyang mangyari? So, read the facts carefully, identify the valuation problem first, eliminate technically incorrect options. Kung alam ninyo sa mga options ay irrelevant siya, eliminate mo na agad siya. Pumunta ka sa dalawa, tapos pagbasihan mo na lang doon. Then, you have to consider a lot. So, that's why I told you that to read the facts carefully. Kasi ang exam ngayon ay parang mga, di ba, parang siyang mga case digest. Parang parang mga law style, 'di ba? Parang ang haba-haba ng question tapos hindi mo tinapos yung question, nasa dulo pala yung pinakang buod ng tanong. Pero ang dami niyang pasikot-sikot. Okay? Naranasan namin 'yan. Kaya dapat niyo maranasan 'yan. Okay? So, when you master the logic of the valuation, it's not just the math. Okay, you gain confidence, accuracy, and consistency, which are exactly what the licensure examination designed to measure. So, I hope you understand, like yung mga IBS na yan, PBS, so alam nyo na yan. Di ba yung reconciliation of value indications, reconciliation is not a mechanical or mathematical averaging. Dapat hindi siya mechanical averaging ang reconciliation. It is a professional judgment, guys. So dun tayo laging tututok sa professional judgments because the valuer must weigh the relevance and the reliability of each approach. Okay? Reconciliation means weighing the most reliable and relevant approach based on the property type, the quality of data, and the last one is the purpose of the appraisal. Okay? Mechanical averaging is explicitly improper. Bakit? Kasi nga, professional judgment ang ginagawa natin. And it fails reporting standards as emphasized in. So, mechanically average means using the arithmetic instead of professional judgment. Kumbaga, parang pag may nakita ka na agad ng mga comparable, compute mo na yan, i-divide mo na yan. So, that's the mechanical averaging, which is improper. Okay? So you need to know what the fact is, ano yung tinatanong doon sa question talaga, ano yung hinihingi. So that is the professional judgment. So yun yung kailangan nating gawin during the board examination. So what the reconciliation judgments looks like in the report, like for example, while all the three approaches were considered, the sales comparison was given the greatest weight as it the most directly reflect the actions of typically buyer or for the similar properties. So usually kasi yung sales comparison approach yung pinakang laging greatest weight to follow by the income approach kasi nag-earn siya eh. Eh pa yung mga cost, 'di ba laging ang cost kasi is paggastos eh, 'di ba? So paggastos 'yan. So nagma-matter lagi 'yan sa magkano. Tapos iisipin mo pa, 'di ba, ilan yung yield, ilan yung mga magiging return of investment mo pa diyan. So usually the reconciliation judgments are number one talaga diyan is yung sa sales comparison approach. Then the income, kikita ka. Eh sa cost, 'di ba usually gastos 'yan. So this is not parang hindi siya ganun ka pinaprioritize in terms of the pagkakaroon ng mga professional judgments. So yan, 'di ba? What is the IBS explains to you nung nabasa niyo yung valuation is international valuation standards, 'di ba? Sabi doon sa IBS explains that the market approach compares the subject with identical or comparable assets when reliable. Ang sinasabi naman sa MR PAAW, siguro nabasa niyo na lahat ang buong MR PAAW, no? So similarly defines the market data as a comparative approach as analyzing sales of similar recently sold properties. So sabi ng MRPA ay similar recently sold properties. Ang sabi naman ni IBS naman siya is identical or comparable assets when reliable. Pagdating sa sales comparison. Eh pagdating naman sa income approach, ano ang sabi ni MRPA? Di ba sabi niya, define the income approach as estimating market value based on income a property produces or can produce. So yun yung sinasabi niya. And usually, It is commonly tested direct capitalization computation like yung net operating income divided by the cap rate. So siguro alam niyo yung NOI divided by cap rate, and the conceptual question on gross versus the net income, the vacancy collection loss, operating expenses, and the logic of the rate selection. Sabi ng MR Pao yan. And sinabi din ng MR Pao doon na define the cost approach as replacement, reproduction cost, less depreciation. Anong sabi? Defines the cost, replacement reproduction cost, less depreciation, adding the land value and anchored on the theory of substitution. So expect more computation on the cost approach, okay? Because there is a reproduction versus the replacement cost. There is also a physical deterioration, there's a functional and external obsolescence. So as a depreciation broadly defined as loss in value due to the obsolescence or the deterioration. That's why itong cost approach na yan to build is hindi masyadong nagmamatter in terms of yan sa mga professional judgment. Kasi more on paggastos na yan. Paki-thumbs up kung naintindihan natin ang 3 approaches. So thank you so much. So we can now proceed to our next topic. We have what we call, sino ang hindi makakalimot? Siyempre, di ba, meron tayong laging highs and best. Hindi siya habu, So sabi nila is habu. No, hindi siya kinakount yung end. Yung article end. So HBU na lang. So the HBU or the habu, sabi nila, this topic appears almost every examination. Tandaan nyo to, guys. This topic appears almost in every examination. The board examination may ask directly about the 4 tests or give you a practical situation. Here's what I want you to remember, guys. Always ask these 4 questions in order. The first one is it a legally permissible? So, can the zoning laws allow it? So, may mga permit ba? May mga dapat bang kasi di ba yung mga indirect cost, di ba? Part and parcel yan, yung mga permit na yan. So, yung second natin lagi tatandaan dyan is yung tinatawag natin na it is a physically possible. Can the property actually support that use? So, tandaan niyo yun. Can the property actually support that use? That falls to the physically possible. So, how about the third one? The financially feasible. So this one, it is a financially feasible, like will the investment generate the profit? So tandaan nyo yung tanong dyan pagdating sa mga financially feasible. Will the investment generate the profit? And the last one is, it is a maximally productive. Among all the possible uses, which one creates the highest value? So never change the sequence, guys. Never change the sequence. Number 1 is legally permissible. Pumapasok yung mga permit, mga zoning laws, mga ganyan. Number 2 is physically possible. Number 3 is financially feasible and maximally productive. Never change the sequence. Kailangan yung malaman yung sequence na yan. Kasi yan yung magbibigay sa inyo on how to determine that property that the highest and best use. So importante na malaman ninyo yung pagkakasunod-sunod na yan. Mawala man ang isa dyan, it will not call as a highest and best use. Tandaan ninyo. Okay? So I am giving you this because it is almost in every part 1 na exam, part 2 na exam, lalabas ito. Okay? So, tandaan po natin. Paki-thumbs up kung naintindihan ang highest and best use. Okay, that's very good. So, let's now proceed to our next discussion. We have what we call the assessed value. Diba? Si Ma'am Rima maraming ituturo sa inyo about the assessed value. Okay, this is that pre-point and examination. Kapag nagkamali pa kayo dito, guys, sisihin nyo ang mga sarili ninyo. Kasi ito is a pre-points. Nandito na. Kumbaga parang andyan na eh. Nagkamali ka pa sa mga CMART, nagkamali ka pa sa mga ano pa iba, yung mga sira, yung mga ganon, di ba? Yung commercial, industrial. Pag nagkamali ka pa dyan, it is your fault. Kasi nga free point na itong subject, itong part na ito. And kailangan nyo malaman yung mga tax rate, yung mga property tax, yung mga ganyan. So, wag na kayong magkakamali dito kasi 3 points na ito sa board examination. Parang ito na ikaka-top notcher ninyo, guys. Tapos nakalimutan nyo pa yung mga ganong klaseng ilang percentage. It is a big no-no. Okay? Say it with me, guys. Fair market value times the assessment level. Okay? FMB times AL lang. Yun lang yung tatandaan ninyo. Not the market value, not the selling price, and nor even the zonal value. So fair market value multiplied by assessment level. That's it. That's the only thing na hindi nyo dapat makalimutan. So, hopefully ma-perfect nyo yung mga percentage na yan. Kasi importante siyang malaman. Okay? So, hopefully, naintindihan natin yung mga assessed value, mga RPT, mga real estate tax na yan. So, katanungin sa inyo yun sa board exam. So, wag na wag niyong kakalimutan. Okay? Now, let's now proceed to our next topic. We have what we call the principle of substitution and the principle of the anticipation. So, let's make this as a practical, no? Let's make imagine there are two identical houses. One cost of yung example kong nilagay na. One cost 5 million, the other cost 7 million. Which one will you buy? As per the concept that no rational buyer pays more if an equally desirable substitute is available. Tama nga naman, di ba? So, which one will you buy? Of course, the 5 million house. Yun talaga yung pinakang-anin mo. Di ba sabi nga nila sabi nga, Ma'am Rima daw, sabi parang barat daw or barat, ganyan. Kumbaga parang, imbis na bumili na lang ako ng original na Lacoste or di kaya Louis Vuitton o di ang gagawin mo naman yung class A ka na lang, 'di ba? Mali ba nung makakita na habang naglalakad ka usisain pa yung mga code number nung nasa loob ng Louis Vuitton na yan. So, yun na lang. Similar naman siya 'di ba? Parehas naman siya. So, ano problema ninyo? Code lang yung siguro nagkakaiba. Why? Because the text of the yung pinakang ano bang balat yan? Balat ba ng anong klaseng balat ng hayop yan? So mga tipong ganun lang naman yung mga ibig sabihin ng mga highfalutin words na ginagamit ko, no? So that's the principle of substitution. And then that is exactly the principle of substitution. So no rational buyer pays more if an equally desirable substitute is available. Available naman siya eh. So doon ako sa class A, punta ako ng San Juan. Saan pa ba? As Divisoria, hindi ko maintandaan kasi meron akong vlog before na 768 ba yun? So yun ganon, mga tipong ganon. Dito kay Saudi Arabia, marami din dito mga class A, dito sa Saudi. Pero marami dito talaga dito ng mga class A, class B lang talaga. Minsan ang ginagawa ng mga Pilipino, bumibili sila sa Divisoria, dadalhin sa Saudi Arabia, bibenta sa kapwa Pilipino. So parang tipong ganon. And then siyempre pupunta sa mga sosyalan, mga ano. Akalain ba naman ng mga ibang Pilipino na na ano yun, na original? Siyempre, 'di ba? Same naman comparable nga, 'di ba? So yun yun. And then the principle of anticipation naman. Now let's talk about the future. Future, pag sinabi anticipation, income producing properties derive their value from the future benefits. Like, ano ba usually ang mga examples dito? Yung mga hotel, shopping malls, office building, apartment complexes. So, people buy them because they expect future income. So, kapag principle of anticipation, so the future benefits determine present value. So whenever you see expected income, earning capacity, or the future cash flow, your answer is the principle of anticipation. So usually, why examiners favor substitution and anticipation? Kumbaga parang lagi sila nakapokus sa dalawang principle. Although ang daming principle. Marami yan eh, di ba? Mga 12 ata, principle of change, balance, wait lang. I-mute ko lang po guys ha. Nakikinig po ba ang lahat? Kasi kung hindi po nakikinig ang lahat, pwede po tayo mag-leave sa sa discussion. 'Di ba no, libre na nga itong panel na coaching namin at saka yung kino-coach namin sa grupo namin. Wag lang po tayong maingay, please. Respeto na lang po. Salamat. Okay. Why examiner's favor, 'di ba, compare? Ang feeling ko kasi yung iba nakikinig sa ibang tawag dito, review center, yung may mga bayad na review center. So parang pinagsasabay lang ata tayo. So ang sa akin lang guys, kung gusto niyo talaga makapasa ng board exam, mag-focus kayo sa isang bagay. Huwag kayo magpo-focus sa kung saan-saan kasi inilalagay niyo yung utak niyo sa maraming hinahalo ninyo. Okay? Ako honestly guys, alam niya ng lahat. Never ako nag-review center. Never ako kung ano. Kaming grupo lang nila Ma'am Rima, 3 kami, 4 lang. At ako lang, solo ko lang. Ngayon, kung ginagawa ninyo dito in our discussion, tapos nakikinig kayo sa ibang tawag dito, review center, please, dun muna kayo makinig. Wag niyo lang po natin idamay dito sa OREP. Okay? Kasi kami sa OREP, advocacy namin to lagi every year for 3 years namin ginagawa, and we thank God na ang dami namin na-produce sa mga passers and mga top-notchers without asking any single centavo. Kami ang pro bono dito, gamit namin lahat ng mga link and everything. Wala kami inas even one single centavo, guys. Not unless na mag-like lang kayo sa page namin kasi pabor sa inyo yung magla-like kayo kasi nakikita nyo doon yung mga updates, mga link and everything kung paano kayo mag-exam. But we don't ask even single centavo. So please, respect us, okay? As a chairman ng organization na ito, please lang po. Okay? And paki-mute. Salamat. Okay, why the substitution and anticipation almost always asked in the board exam? Because these two principles are the foundation of how value is created. Nag-create kasi siya ng value, yung dalawa na ito lagi. So, kaya siya paborito lagi sa board exam. And then the board exam is testing whether you understand why properties have value, not simple how to compute the value. Okay? So, kaya importante lagi itong dalawang principle na ito. The principle of substitution equals the basis of the sales comparison approach. So, this principle explains the buyer behavior. So, ito yung ina-explain. The buyer behavior, like yung sinabi ko, di ba, a buyer will not pay more for a property than the cost of acquiring an equally desirable substitute. Okay, so when the exam mentions about the comparable properties, similar properties, alternatives, competitive properties, buyer choosing between the properties, and that fall with the principle of substitution. Ano man bali-balik ka rin man yung mga words na yan, that's the principle of substitution. Katulad nung yung mga value before ng ano yung excellent, nung during the exam namin ang ginamit na word is superb. Superb ang ginamit. So, binaltan niya talaga kasi sa MR PAO, nabasa namin na excellent siya. 'Di ba? Yun yung word na nakalagay. Ngayon, pinalitan ng PR Beres ng superb. So, that means excellent siya. Superb na siya eh. So, ito mga word na ito, palibalik rin man yan during the examination, alam na ninyo yan. Okay? So, sana matandaan ninyo yung mga ibang terms na ginagamit. Okay, so the principle of anticipation naman, basis of the income approach. So this principle explains investor behavior. So ano nga ang anticipation? The behavior is equal to investor. Kapag naman sa substitution, anong behavior ito? That's the buyer behavior. Okay, understand? Dalawa lang yan. The substitution is the buyer behavior while the anticipation is the investor behavior. Well, the value today is based on the expected future benefits. So whenever the exam discusses about the rental income, the future income, earning capacity, expected cash flow, the investment properties, and that the answer is anticipation. Bali-balik na rin man lang yan. Gamitan naman siya ng ibang mga words. At least alam ninyo kung ano yung mga pwedeng ipalit sa mga words na yun. So for example, di ba yung an investor buys an apartment building because of expected rental income. So yun yung mga isang pwede natin ma-consider because yung market participants comparing the alternatives. So that's the substitution. The future benefits creating the value, and that's the anticipation. So these two principles affect the sales comparison approach, market behavior, income approach, buyer's decision, investor decision. So ngayon, yung cost naman mainly affect what? Yung mga cost approach. 'di ba, ang affect ng mga cost approach is yung new construction kasi nga build, 'di ba? Special purpose properties, the insurance valuations is part and parcel of the cost. And then the cost approach questions which represent a smaller portion of appraisal practice. And very easily naman i-memorize yan, di ba? Yung pag sinabi nating substitution, that's the comparable alternative, property, buyer's choice, anticipation, expected benefits, cash flow, earning capacity. The cost naman is replacement, reproduction, construction cost. So, dun pumapasok yung mga tatlo na yan. While the supply and demand, scarcity, excess, neighborhood, so mga high demand, and then the change. Pag sinabi natin mga principle of change, that pertains to growth, decline, neighborhood transition. So, doon pumapasok yung mga yan. So, the golden rule here during the board exam ng real estate appraiser is like the comparison properties substitution, the future income anticipation, and construction cost is for the cost. So, yun lang yung pinaka-importante. Now, let's take a Q&A. So, ito yung pinakang summarize niyan, no? So, let's now proceed to our Q&A portion. So, pakilagay lang po sa chat box yung ating mga tamang sagot. Ang dami nag-heart. Okay. So, this is the first question, guys. Pakisagot lang po ha, paunahan. The first question here is, a 5,000 square meter, di ko makita ang labo, maliit. Property is currently being used as a warehouse and generates a stable income. So zoning was recently changed, allowing high-rise mixed-use development. So what is the correct? Which should form the basis of market value? Answer please to the chat box. Hello. Ano po ang tama? So is it letter A, warehouse? Because it is letter A daw, ang sabi ni Inente Erica. Si naman si T-Rex. So let's now see what is the correct answer for this question. So I think may nakatama na ng sagot. Okay, sino itong unang nakatama ng sagot? Si T-Rex, I think. Yeah, kasi siya yung unang sumagot ng letter C. Let's now discuss bakit daw letter C ang tamang sagot. So correct natin to, Erica, ha? Okay, the mixed use, di ba sabi ko nga kanina, ang discussion sa highest and best use. So this question is medyo trap question to, guys, ha? Trap question to. So ang tamang sagot dito is the mixed use development because it maximally productive. Basis is the highest and best use and must pass the 4 tests. Kaka-discuss ko lang kanina, no? So if more than one, like for example, di ba? Wait lang, wala pa question number 2 agad. So if more than one use meets the first 3 tests, the use that produces highest value is the highest and best use and becomes the basis of a market value. So bakit mali yung letter A? Because that's the current use, is not automatically the highest and best use. Hindi porke warehouse use because it's the current use. No, current use, di ba sabi nga nila, yun yung laging binibase. Pero the question pertains doon sa very obvious yung question legally permissible, nabanggit yung 4 elements ng highest and best use. So, yung letter B din, income alone does not determine the value. And then the letter D, market value is not derived by averaging alternative HABU or HABU conclusions. So this is the exam trap. No, many examinees mistakenly assume the current use. Guys, current use is a trap question which pertains to the highest and best use. No, so the correct answer here is letter C. Okay, let's now proceed to question number 2. Please to the chat box, what is the correct answer for this question? We have 82 nakikinig. So hopefully may maintindihan po tayo, no? What is the correct answer for this? A residential property is offered for sale of 15 million pesos. So may sumagot ng letter C, si Amiel, T-Rex A, Raymond C. Okay, tingnan natin yung iba. Nakikinig po ba yung iba or baka nakikinig sa kabilang review center? Kasi nung last session namin, ganun yung nangyari eh. Nakikinig sa kabilang review center. So, minute ko nga. Okay, letter C. Kasi hindi niyo ikakapasa lahat ng lahat ng sobrang dami ng review center. Hindi niyo ikakapasa. Ikakapasa niyo yung focus. Focus, focus, focus. Okay? Kasi yung mga hindi nga nare-review center, eh, nakakapasa kasi nag-focus sila. Pero kung ang dami yung ganito, ganyan, 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 mix, yung mekos-mekos ba? So, hindi kayo makakapasa pa ganyan. If ever lang na yan yung attitude natin sa pag-review. You need to focus, guys. Okay, the correct answer for number 2 is letter C. That's the correct answer po, no? Hello? Okay, next. The principle of substitution states that a prudent buyer. So the question for this question, the answer is letter C. So bakit hindi A, anticipation relates to the future benefits, and then letter B, contribution relates to A, how components add value, and the letter D, increasing returns concern productivity. So this is the another trap exam question, no? Kasi when the question mentions about comparable sales, similar substitute, the buyer behavior, refusal to overpay, the answer for this is the substitution. Okay, for the question number 3. So may I know what is the correct answer for this sa chat box? A vacant parcel of land currently produces no income. A new international airport is officially approved. Officially approved na siya. And construction will begin next year. So property prices in the area have already. So what is the correct answer? Letter D. D. Okay. Ang daming sumagot na letter D. Because that is the correct answer. Kasi ang sinabi pala naman niya is ano, di ba? There is an officially approved. So parang there's an anticipation for this question. Tama po yan, no? This is another trap question. Baka kasi mamaya mag-rely kayo sa ibang sagot as the future benefits as the present value today. So yan yung importante pag sa ganitong question. So number 4, what is the question number 4? What is the correct answer? So number 4, may I know the correct answer for this question? The property was sold by a bank through foreclosure auction at a price significantly below prevailing market levels. So the sale occurred within 10 days of advertisement because the bank needed immediately liquidation. So what is the correct answer for this question? Okay, so let's now see the correct answer for this, and that is the correct answer, letter C. So no, because without compulsion and the proper marketing elements may be absent. So the market value requires, ano yung mga requirements niya? Estimated amount, willing buyer, willing seller, arm's transaction. Di ba binigay ko sa inyo kanina yung the key elements of the market value? So yung discussion natin kanina, so nandyan lahat yan. So kailangan nating matandaan kung ano ang tinutukoy or sinasabi for this. Okay, let's now proceed to our next discussion.